President Biden has a new harebrained scheme to tax the rich. But don't worry, it won't affect you. It's not at all relevant that when the income tax amendment was originally passed, we were promised it would only affect 1% of the population and that the tax rate would be 1%. And basically nothing has changed, right? Well, back to reality. The latest success punishment program, proposed by these career criminals, would make the rich pay their fair share. How it's fair that most Americans pay no federal income tax at all is oddly left unexplained. Anyway, the Biden plan would for the first time begin to confiscate money that in essence these poor saps don't even have yet. Any novice investor knows that market gains are volatile and often fleeting. They become real when the asset is sold and the money can actually be spent. Biden and his henchmen want to get their hands on this money during the fleeting moments when the assets have appreciated, but before they are sold. What if the investments go down, as frequently happens? Well, no problem for Biden and company. They just hide in the bushes like the highwaymen of old, waiting for their target's assets to tick up, at which time they jump out and rob them. Sound harsh? Well, not to worry. These taxes would only apply to the top 0.1% of Americans, so you're totally safe. Sound familiar? But actually, the initially small number of people affected by this provides us with an opportunity to implement an entirely new revenue strategy. Revenue. As if government is capable of anything but confiscation from its enemies and payoffs to its friends. Confiscated tax money is revenue in the same way that piranhas gather flesh revenue from their unfortunate prey. But I digress. This new tax strategy has never been tried before, is based on free market principles, individual choice, and one that would raise huge amounts of money for very important liberal priorities. Instead of tax the rich, let's ask the rich. The bulk of the money raised from the Biden plan would come from just a few thousand ultra-wealthy individuals. So this would be logistically simple. Step one, have the president personally sign a letter to every single one of these people asking if they think their taxes should be higher. On receiving their answers, they would be widely publicized, giving them a chance to show how compassionate, inclusive, and generous they are. Step two, have Biden send another letter, this time only to those who thought their taxes were too low. Biden would be asking them to commit to the Biden wealth reduction plan in perpetuity. Shouldn't be a problem. I mean, taxes are too low, right? We need to help our fellow man, right? The idea that everyone has to pay before you will pay is a little like a good swimmer refusing to save a drowning person until some other good swimmers show up. Uncle Sam will be much better at spending your money than you are, right? That is, after all, what you're saying when you're saying taxes are too low. Since these folks are only interested in doing the right thing, they should enthusiastically endorse this idea. I don't see a problem. Now, once this pilot program has been rolled out to the ultra-rich, it would be expanded to include the very rich, the merely rich, and then, well, the rest of us. And ultimately, we would be given a menu of options, including an opt-out option for how our tax money would be spent. We will then find out what our real priorities are. One option that will be notably missing from this menu, how we think other people's tax money should be spent. Actually, no. Let's include that one. Except anyone who chooses it would instantly receive a shock of, say, 120 volts. Way less than a taser. I don't want to get carried away. This would give free market opponents a little taste of what the rest of us feel when they put their hands in our wallets every single day. Well, Mr. Gates, what do you think of my idea now? Is it scalable enough for you? Still no. Might I suggest you push this button here, which asks how other people's money should be spent?